later. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, Alessi had been a little bit off the pace here, especially since that horrific crash earlier today. See, look at Alessi guarding the inside. Oh, he's off the track.
Having his problems some more here tonight is Mike Alessi, and he gives up 2 more spots, including 1 to Nick Way.
Michigan Mafia, but the privateer bike, we saw him make it through the LCQ, I believe it was, right?
No, it was a semi.
He won a semi number 2, I believe it was.
Yeah, you can see Alessi here running out of steam. He's had a long night.
Davalos next on the 23 to come up and challenge.
And Davalos actually setting 5th overall with the scores from main event 1 and 2.
There you go. You can see him going off the track. He went inside, went off the track, and now he's back on, losing 2 positions when he did that.
Yeah, you know, and Alessi has tried the racing line. He's tried to get out of the racing line in different spots, and it's just not. He's just been a little click off, and you got to wonder. You know, you go down like that, it really shakes you up and shakes your concentration.
Look at this guy. Dude, he is on point, man.
Yeah.
He can go anywhere he wants, just throwing it in the turns, riding so aggressive. Nice little lead. About 4 laps to go when he crosses the line.
Halfway through it, $1 million waiting.
This is about $250,000 right here. Next lap will be about 500, half a mil.
Well, obviously, the other thing, too, is this Kawasaki 2012 model in Supercross form looks pretty strong, as we said earlier. And this is the first time they've run the Supercross suspension. Everybody getting ready for Anaheim coming up in the beginning of January. Take note, this is going to be a stout piece to deal with.
This guy right here has got to be so happy knowing I just have to hold it together for 4 or 5 more laps to win $1 million, the first time in motocross, supercross history that this has ever happened.
That could have been throwing away $1 million right there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking while you guys were talking. We were looking at that outside section out there. There's a lot of rocks coming up. I mean, he really has to stay focused and not get ahead of himself. Let's take another look at this as he comes down. Monster Rally, and we'll watch this. He wants to get on the rear tire and wheelie through here. Gets a little skip right there. Corrects it. Nice and easy. But, you know, I read this interesting book by Phil Jackson where he talks about when he was, you know, coaching the Bulls to all those championships and how he would teach his riders to stay in the moment. And this is kind of that time where Villopoto has to think about what's happening here and now. Not think about the million, not think about the checkered flag, because he still has laps to go, 4 laps to go to get there. So there's a lot of time, right? It's close to 6 minutes still.
You know, one other thing to take note of as we inch our way closer towards the conclusion of the 2011 season and the beginning of the 2012, of course, Villopoto having a great night here tonight on his Kawasaki. Yamaha just recently announced they're offering over $3 million in contingency this year to racers competing across the board in a variety of events. A lot of that money is going to go towards Monster Energy Supercross competitors. That whole program kicking off here tonight. So it'll be interesting to see who shows up on a Yamaha at Anaheim.
Well, that's a lot of money on the line, too, throughout that contingency program. You have 17 rounds of Monster Energy Supercross. You know, privateer, possibly a support team, like a B-team rider that is eligible for all of that contingency. They can rake in a lot of cash themselves.
You know, there's 4 laps remaining here, but you think of everything that comes into play here. You know, obviously Ryan Villopoto is doing his part. This team and his mechanics have done a tremendous job. They're on the verge of a perfect season, Ricky. And you think about everything that has to work right. The team, the rider, and every piece on that motorcycle just to win one race, let alone to have such an incredible year.
Yeah, it's amazing the odds that you defeat. Just like you say, that, you know, whether it be a flat tire, chain fall off, your bike sees up, you know, falling down, not getting hurt. And for him to do what he's doing right now, when he looks back someday when he retires, he's going to remember this year. I mean, to win all these championships and these races, I mean, it's special.
Yeah, but what I always go back to is that horrendous crash that he had in St. Louis 2010. battling Dungey for the Monster Energy Supercross title. Really bad injury, fracture to his right lower leg. And we weren't really sure how he would come out for 2011. And he came out and won the opening round. And he didn't expect to win. He just wanted to get a nice solid ride in. Think about that. He won that race, and he didn't even expect to. And since then, his confidence has grown. He's done all the hard work. The team and everybody have put it all together. Now you have this dominating season.
But think of how crazy that year was, too. He didn't even make the main at Jacksonville.
I hear you.
And, you know, and he came back and ended up winning the Monster Energy Supercross Championship. And then he goes on and wins the outdoor title, then the Motocross of Nations. It's just been a remarkable year. Kevin Windham, by the way, who we talked about just barely inching into the mains. He's running in 13th right now. Michael Lessie's in 6th.
I tell you what, we had that Fast Five from the Supercross Championship this year with Villopoto, Dungey, Reed, Stewart, Trey Canard. Canard, of course, is healing up from another fracture in his femur. He's a rider that can really come back strong. And then, you know, Stewart and Reed, both at home right now watching. And that's the motivation. You watch one of your competitors get that cash like that. Oh, we'll see those guys.
I'd be fired up.
You know it.
And you know what? And a big shout out to Nick Way right now. He is running in 4th, having a great run here in this final race, the 2011 season. A lap and a half to go, and Ryan Villopoto is going to win $1 million. Did you ever think all those years you two pounded around your family's tracks, the local tracks, the factory tracks, that you'd see a dirt bike racer win $1 million in one night?
Never, ever a chance.
I mean, Ricky, we did the U.S. Open years ago. It was $100,000 to win.
It felt like $1 million to me when I did it. And I mean, I'm almost in shock thinking about what this kid is fixing to do. A man now, what he's about to accomplish and win. The first time ever, what this is going to do for him, for the sport in general. It's very, very awesome. And something I think he's going to be very proud of.
And a lot of credit has to go to the folks at Feld Motorsports, Feld Entertainment, and Monster for coming up with the concept and putting it all together to have this night, to take this sport to such a huge level.
And the fans here are on their feet. I mean, he's got a big lead here. But and on the left here in our split screen, that's Mike Williamson, his mechanic, who's been with them along this journey here since he's been at Monster Energy Kawasaki.
That's Mike right there in the Kawasaki hat.
He's wondering what to put on the pin board, Ricky.
Millionaire. That ought to do it.
He's like, wait, how many zeros goes in $1 million?
I'd love to know what he's thinking right now.
Villopoto just got married. Held off on the honeymoon to compete here. They're going to celebrate in big fashion. Anything you want, you can have.
The crowd is really responding here. They know what sort of payday's on the line for Villopoto.
Yeah,
They'll let him hear it.
He's getting pumped now.
History was made. History was made just when we showed up here with the opportunity to race for $1 million. The Monster Energy Cup. It was a wild idea. People never thought anybody who raced a dirt bike would have a shot at $1 million. The concept of doing a hybrid track, a supercross and motocross combination. Nobody knew what we were going to see for sure here tonight. Yet they showed up, and $1 million was at stake. And Ryan Villopoto has done it. He's won all 3. He is the Monster Energy Cup inaugural winner, and he's a millionaire after just one race.
I got to be honest, guys. I didn't think anybody was going to be able to win 3 motos. As good as Villopoto has been this year, I don't want to discredit him in any way. But I thought 3 main events in a row like that, and he had just dominated this event.
Unbelievable. What a great race, man, for him. I mean, he was so textbook perfect. Starts were amazing. The guy was on point the whole time. He came here to do business. He did it. I mean, what a way to round out his year. Now he can go his honeymoon $1 million richer. I can't believe $1 million, man. That is just amazing.
Whatever you want for room service, you can now order.
Okay. Give me 2 orders of the calamari.
Making that paper.
Ryan Villapoto, Mike Williamson, the entire Monster Energy Kawasaki team. You got to give that entire organization credit. The perfect season, winning it all, and capping it off with an unbelievable feat of winning here at the Monster Energy Cup and claiming the Monster Million. The fireworks are going off, and when we come back, we'll talk to the new millionaire, Ryan Villapoto.
The Monster Energy Cup was a great way to end a spectacular season of Supercross racing. Don't worry, Anaheim will be here before you know it, and Speed will return with live coverage of the opener, plus 9 other events, including the finale in May 2012, right back here in Las Vegas. Join us as Ryan Villapoto tries to defend his title against the most talented field in the sport's history. Chad Reed, Ryan Dungey, James Stewart, Trey Kennard, and Kevin Windham will all be back for another shot at the title. When we return to Sam Boyd Stadium, final thoughts from our own podium contenders, Ralph, Jeff, Ricky, and Aaron, when live coverage of the Monster Energy Cup returns on Speed.
Victory celebration getting ready to go. Of course, Ryan Villapoto is picking up the tab for everything tonight. Here are the results.
I need to hang out with him. Look at
That's
that.
how it came out. Villapoto sweeping it.
1-1-1.
Dungey, well, he'll get a good payday out of that $250,000 purse, and we head right down to Aaron.
A perfect day from start to finish for Ryan Villapoto, and he walks away with $1 million check. And to present the honors is Juliet Feld from Feld Entertainment. Juliet, go ahead.
On behalf of Feld Motorsports and Monster Energy, congratulations on your winnings.
Thank you.
$1 million check. Ryan, it's the Grand Slam, the quintessential Grand Slam to a perfect season. What does it mean to walk away with the icing on the cake of a perfect season and $1 million check?
You know, it was supposed to be on my honeymoon right now, but you know, this is a good present for that. It was worth the wait, I guess. So you know, I just can't thank everybody that's helped me through this whole year. It's been a hell of a year for all of us. You know, to have another one of these will be very hard to do. So you know, just can't thank everybody. Lord Jesus for keeping me safe. He's the guy that looks over all of us, and you know, can't thank him and you know, Feld, Monster for putting this on. It's a cool one-off race, and I'm $1 million richer now. So black number 2 maybe tonight. We'll see.
Coming into tonight, did you think it was possible? And when you were on that line, did you start to feel the pressure after taking 2 for 2?
Man, you know, since it's a one-off race, it's kind of, you know, there's not as much pressure as a normal Supercross race, and you know, I nailed my starts, all 3 of them. Almost pulled 3 hole shots, but got 2, and you know, just I got to give it up to Rick for the power, Dunlop for the tires. You know, to everybody, thank you.
The celebration is on for Ryan Villapoto.
All right, Aaron, thank you. The Monster Energy Cup will be back. We'll be here again next October. And, of course, we'll see everybody in Anaheim January 7th. That's when the Monster Energy season of Supercross will begin. There it is right there. In all of those shows that you see those yellow arrows.